Hey guys, welcome to episode number 4 of Video Entrepreneurs. This is going to be an amazing time for us to hang out and talk and learn a lot about social media strategies and how do we use them to grow our YouTube channel. Shannon will be in the hot seat. She's going to talk with us a little bit more about that and some of the questions that she has about the target audience she has versus this other one she needs to also reach and why she needs to reach those. It's going to be great. How do we leverage social media? How do we leverage media attention that we get? And maybe even an email list. Like, what do we need to do to really start leveraging social media to grow our YouTube channel? It's going to be great. If this is your first time here, welcome. What this show is all about is me and 5 other full-time YouTube creators that you will meet in just 1 second. Actually, I lied. Probably about 3 minutes you'll meet them. and we're just gonna, every week we just meet here for the next 9 weeks. And one of us just brings to the table some questions, ideas, roadblocks, whatever we're working through about our channel and the business that we're growing that surrounds our audience. And we just bring those questions to the group. And then the group just does our best to help that person out for about an hour. And you guys who are watching this live, also, you're going to be a part of this as well. Leave your questions, your ideas, your advice, your insights in the live chat that's happening right now. And it's been fun hanging out with you guys, sailing and such. You've been waiting here for a little while. Good to see you. Angry Tuber 11, J Gaming, the Tyvin Show, Narion, Aaron Jones, all you guys. Great to see you. Tech Solomon. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to learning from you guys. So the way this works is that there is actually a channel called Scandinavian Today. Her name is Heidi, and everyone say hi to Heidi in the chat. She will be looking for the questions, the insights that you guys have to share, and we'll be sharing those with the group. So I know the chat will start going by really fast, but don't worry. Heidi, she's awesome. She's got it, and she'll be grabbing your questions and sharing those with us here in the group, and we will be answering them throughout and adjusting them throughout the next hour here as we live stream. So not just helping out Shannon, but also helping you guys out with questions that are related to this topic, right? So we'll kind of stay on topic with the questions. So welcome. If you don't know, if you want to catch up on past episodes, you can do that here on this channel. Also, this gets turned into a podcast that you can subscribe to it in iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher, as well as additional podcast episodes. These go up on Tuesdays, but on Thursdays, I publish just a dedicated video creators podcast episode where I can really take a half hour, 45 minutes, and really dig deep into a topic, which I feel like really complements the channel pretty well. We're just doing a couple minutes in videos, but so you can check that out. Catch up on past episodes of Video Entrepreneurs. That is in the description below. And also, if you want to get a text message notification whenever we go live right here at Video Creators, maybe you forget. I know it's hard to schedule your life around these live streams, but if you want us to send you a text message notification right when we go live, look, I just got mine here while we were doing right when we went live. Text VC Live to the number 43506, or you can sign up your email address too. All that information is down in the description below. But text VC Live to 43506. We'll send you a text message right when we go live, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. So before we jump into this topic, which I'm really excited about, there's a lot of energy around this. Is going to be a really good topic here today. I want to give a huge thank you to the sponsor of this episode, which is Vid Iq, and they're making all this possible for us all to hang out with you guys. I really appreciate them. I want to show you one of my favorite features of their Chrome extension that you can download for free. Link to it is in the description below, but it lets you do keyword research about a video while you upload it, which is really cool. Let me take you to my desktop and kind of show you how this works. First thing I'm going to do is pick a video to upload. I've got a bunch of them. Just take this one randomly, and this is what happens. So I'm going to just, give it a quick title like how to teach your kids to do their chores. I'm just making this up, right? And I got description here, and let me just start typing in some tags here. And this is the cool part. Let me see, like chores, kids, parenting, for example. Okay, and now here is where you can boost this video. I love this. I use this pretty much every video I upload. So what it's going to do, it's going to look at some of your tags. It's going to start suggesting some. And I love that I can do this keyword research right here while it's uploading. Here's some recommended tags based on what I've written already. I can start looking at these. okay, monthly searches for chores around 75,000, about a pretty low search volume, 25. The competition's 56. And so you can start seeing some of this information about these tags while you're uploading. But then I can come down here and just start doing some research on some of these other keywords. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Children, I got to add that one. So I'll check that and it'll just add it right up here now to the keywords. Toddler, any of these, hilarious. That one doesn't quite apply to this one, but you can start doing some of this keyword research while you're uploading out here. And it also says, okay, and consider including some of these highly searched keywords in your description. And so while I'm writing my own description up here, it's going to, teaching your kids to do their chores is a difficult task sometimes. I'm just making this up as I go, so please don't just think I've researched this or anything. But that's why I love it, because I can research while I'm doing it. So say, hey, you should probably have parenting in there. You should probably have children in there. You should probably have toddlers in there. Maybe also considering putting those in your titles as well. So it's just a really good way to really craft your title, your description, and your tags while you're uploading without having to go and do a whole ton of research. You can also see, like, here's some other videos that match the same type of tags that you're using to get some other ideas of what some other thumbnails and titles other people are using. You see how many views per hour that they're getting right here and stuff. So a good way to do a lot of research right here while you're uploading. I love it. It saves me a lot of time, and I almost always tweak and optimize my video titles as a result of the data that I get from Vid Iq that they show me. So guys, to go check them out. The Chrome extension is completely for free. Just go to vidiq.com/videocreatorstv. There's a link in the description below. They do have a few paid plans if you're interested in checking some of those out. And exclusively, just for you guys only right here, they made available the promo code VideoCreatorsTV. You can try any of their paid plans completely for free for 30 days and just see if it's right for you or not, and see if it's something that really helps you in channel. I know it's something I use, like I said, almost every video that I upload. So go check them out, vidiq.com/videocreatorstv, and you go check it out and learn more information about that. So that's awesome. Love those guys. And you guys are all chatting about my lack of facial hair. Yeah, this is my first video. Let me bring on our guest, and then they can rag on me a little bit if they want. Hey guys, how are you all hanging out with me here?
Hi. Oh my goodness. Look how young he looks, everyone.
Oh, people. Yeah, I had it for 9 years, and I shaved it off of my family's vlogging channel.
Should we all do it?
Can you wear it? Yeah, there you go, Derek.
You gotta link up that episode, man. People want to see it.
Yeah, it's at youtube.com/schmovies, SCHMOVIES. Kind of like Schmoyer, but turned into movies. Kind of cute. Yeah, that's what we're stuck with. But yeah, so that was a thing. 9 years I had it pretty much, and then I just decided I was gonna try something new. So here we go.
Well, you're owning it.
Yes, and my wife loves it, and making out is way better now. I'll just be honest about that.
Now you have the ability to do it with your wife?
Oh, it's so much more sensitive. All right, before I embarrass her. But we did actually, that was part of the vlog too, and then we just cut it right at that point. But that, we have 6 kids. No one's surprised by that. So, yeah, anyway, before this derails even further, great to have all you guys here. Let's quickly just introduce our channels real quick, and then we'll jump into Shannon's question. We'll start with you, Derek. Introduce your channel. All their channels linked up below. You guys check them out too.
I run Common Man Cocktails. I'm the host of Common Man Cocktails, do a daily cocktail show Monday through Friday, and I'm a pretty important guy apparently. I'm on the show.
Voted #1 by your wife and kids.
Yep.
Go
really
ahead.
#2.
Shannon, tell us about your channel.
I'm Shannon. I'm the creator behind Bounce Patrol Kids. We make music videos for preschoolers, toddlers, so kids aged about 1 to 6. Original songs, nursery rhymes, and lots of just singing and dancing.
Yeah. Cool. Evan is hanging out with us. He was in season 1 last year. Mitch had to drop out, unfortunately. And so Evan's filling in for him tonight. And then I'm working on some other guests too. But Evan, tell us real quick about your channel, and his is linked up in the description below as well.
Cool. Yeah, I'm the super sub for the night. Evan Carmichael, have a channel to help entrepreneurs. We've got 400,000 subs, gaining about 1,000 subs a day, about 4 million views a month, uploading 3 to 7 videos a day. And it's inspiration and motivation to help you grow your business.
Business, yay. Chad and Melissa.
I'm Melissa, and this is my husband, Chad, and we run the channel Clean My Space, and it's a channel dedicated to teaching people how to clean in a fun and memorable way.
That's awesome. Good job. Love it. And Antonio.
I'm Antonio Centeno. I'm the founder of Real Men, Real Style, where I use science and military history to teach guys how to use style to be able to get what they want out of life.
Awesome. Cool. So I can see you guys are already asking questions in the chat, and Heidi, also known as Scandinavian Today in the chat, she's doing it. She's already grabbing some questions. We're going to jump into them and keep asking, you guys keep asking them. We're going to dig into some of these here, but first, let's dig into Shannon's question. So Shannon, tell us a little bit about what you want to talk with us about today. How can we help you?
Yep. So I'd like to talk about social media. One of the challenges that I have on my channel is that we essentially have 2 audiences. We have the kids who we're making the content primarily for, and then we also have their parents who are turning it on for them, who are sort of our engaged fans, I guess. When that comes to our social media presence, what that means is while toddlers, for example, are watching on YouTube, and they might be watching on the kids app, or they might be using it on a device by themselves, how many toddlers do you know who are on Facebook and Twitter? Right. So our primary audience is not actually on social media. It's kind of our secondary audience. Their parents are the ones that we're serving through our social media channels. And I don't know about you, but when you're going through your kind of Facebook fix and you're looking through your feed, it's not the time that you really want to see a kid's video, like a video that's aimed for your 2-year-old. So for us, we need to basically have 2 completely different types of content and styles of content for our primary content on YouTube and for what we might be putting on social media. And I don't think we do that very effectively at the moment in terms of serving the parents primarily over on our social pages. It's more just like announcements about new videos and things like that thus far. So I guess my question for you guys is what are your suggestions for dealing with that split audience kind of effect? And do you think it's worth serving 2 separate audiences completely with different strategies and really investing the time and energy to do the social media well in that second path?
Yeah.
So I'm the new person here. Can you just quickly talk about the mission, like why you started this, what the goal is for your channel?
Yeah. So our goal is to help educate kids. And it's also to give parents a little bit of respite. So it is quite nice to be able to give your child a device and get 5 minutes back to be able to, have a quick shower or something like that, and know that the content that they're going to be watching during that time is entertaining, but also will help them learn. So help them maybe learn to count in a new language, or help them learn their alphabet, or learn colors, or learn animal sounds, or something like that. So,
okay. So it's not something you want them to do together. It's not like activities for parents and kids to do together. It's like, hey, here's a break, take the iPad for 5 minutes and I get time for myself.
Yeah, there is some co-watching, and we do kind of encourage that. But most of what we find our audience is doing is using it to get that break time back. So we really try and help with that as well.
Got it.
Yeah, so if I could summarize it, let me make sure I got this right, Shannon, is that your channel is just nailing the young kid audience, like 2 to 6 years old-ish. You got like phonics, numbers, alphabet type educational videos that like music, and they're really catchy, and the kids are just loving it. And so your question is, that's working great, but is the question, should I be targeting parents also? Or is the question, I need to target parents and I don't know how? Or what's the exact?
I guess the question is, when it comes to expanding to social media. So it's not that I would like to target parents on YouTube as well. I'd like to keep that just for the kids, I guess,
Right.
and co-watching with their parents, but building a social media presence and being able to communicate with your audience in more than one way. So
Yeah.
at the moment, the only method I have of communicating with the parents of these kids, like that maybe we've got a new merch offering, or maybe we've got a new video that's worth watching, or maybe we're going to do a live show someday.
Yeah.
The only method I have to communicate with them is YouTube. So I'd like to
Yeah.
expand my points of contact. But what should I be serving on a Facebook page that's about children's content when it's adults reading it? Because you don't want to
Gotcha.
see the children's content.
Can I give you what I would think if I were to do it? I think if you need to provide value to those parents for multiple reasons, and I think the biggest reason is to enforce your YouTube channel without making both the same. For instance, what I would think is if you had tips, tricks, and ideas that could be alternatives to necessarily, you know, what else could you do to assist the parents and their children, like some specific things you might do for entertainment outside, or things that bring value where the parents can think about it, or use you as a professional reference to say, oh, so, you know, I'd like to be able to, well, how do I entertain my kids in the car while I'm going someplace and I don't have internet? What, you know, other things that provide value to them, which they can then use to say, you know what you're talking about. You helped me in these 5 instances. Maybe now you can get more Patreon donations to them directly, or they tell their other friends that are having kids, because they're all probably around the similar age. You need to check this show out because this lady helps me do this other things, and she has this cool show that distracts my kids, become the virtual babysitter for 20 minutes so I can go comb my hair or whatnot. I think I try and keep it focused on the same theme, but directed at a different age group, the parents' way of handling it.
Yeah, I think my question about that is because I could dedicate some of my time to writing that different style of content, i.e., you know, sort of a parenting blog or a parenting kind of content stream. And my question is, that's not what I do well, if that makes sense. Like I'm not really great at educating and entertaining parents. I'm kind of good at entertaining and engaging 2-year-olds.
Right? Maybe you are.
Yeah. Yet, maybe. So whether it's worth investing, maybe hiring someone into my team who's worth doing that, but who can do that, but that would be a significant investment in diverging from what I do, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So my question is, would you suggest that?
I think it really just depends on the mission. Like, how important is it for you? I think if it's only a marketing thing, then it's not worth your time. If you think it's important to educate parents and help them and give them other tips on how to give breaks for their kids and still have them learn, and maybe you can provide another information, that's important to you as a human being. Like, I'm Shannon, you know, I want to be able to provide advice and wisdom for parents, then yes, go and do it. If it's only, I want to get more subs to my YouTube channel, then it's not, like, focus on your YouTube channel. That's not going to be the play for you.
But it might be a unique position that she's in, simply because the subs, I'm assuming the lion's share of the subs are the parent. Well, I'm sure all of the subs are the parents, correct?
Legally, yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean,
the subscribers are the parents, yeah.
Where you can get 20 million views on a video, but the 800,000 subs, in my estimation, is probably one of the most valuable things with your channel, because that, as you pointed out earlier, is basically your outlet to getting more views for the kids. So you are like dabbling in social media right now. Like, so when you release a new video, do you go across all of the platforms and say, hey, there's a new video? And how do you usually kind of word it right now when you're doing a social post on like Twitter for a new video?
Yeah. So I do post to Twitter and Facebook, but dabbling is the correct word for it, because we're not really investing in it that much. And the wording is more around, hey, we have a new video. So it's not, if the video, it has something in it that's educational and that's really what we're trying to deliver to the kids, then we'll tell that to the parents in the announcement video, like, hey, we've got a video about how to count in different languages. If you want your child to learn how to count in Japanese, maybe show them this video, that kind of thing. But yeah, we're not delivering value unrelated to our content at the moment.
But it is indeed that simple, where you really see. The reason why I bring this up is because as soon as Evan was asking you gave this great answer, which was like, it's great because here's a great way for a parent to get 5 minutes to go and take a shower. And if you were to actually use that as the voice which you use, where you appeal to parents and say, like, you use your videos as on these other platforms to basically, you know, lure in the parents by like appealing to their want for time, or like, do you need is it that time? Or on a Monday you could post something first thing on a Monday where it's like, do you need a break already? Da 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 da. You know, check out this video which is 20 minutes of occupation as far as your kid is concerned, or whatever it may be. But just kind of like going down that route of trying to appeal to what their time is.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking a lot about your case today, because I think a Facebook group would actually do really well for the parents, because parents, I have a lot of parent friends on Facebook, and they will share anything and everything, from like, what kind of pencil should your kid use in school? Like, if you had a thing with a picture with numbers and said, learn how to count in 3 different languages, and have parents share that across their Facebook pages, that would do really well for you. And I also think that another thing that you could do in terms of providing value for parents, either in an email blast or on Facebook, would be sort of corralling your content or curating your content, you know, so having a playlist like bedtime songs. Use these 5 bedtime songs to get your kids to go to bed, or
so maybe
getting dressed up. We don't have kids. I don't know what songs you whatever.
Sending them to college or the army, whatever.
Yeah. Whatever creative groupings of songs that you can put together, that is a way to provide value to parents. And that is something that I'm sure a time-strapped parent would really like. And if it's coming from you, a trusted source, they can click on it, they can play it, it gets you more action. And as Derek was saying, you're providing value to the parents, so they really are going to start digging your stuff more, and I think they'll be more apt to share it. And it will, of course, help your merch sales too.
Yeah, I think
I mean,
can
that's
work.
not really even, sorry, that's the merch sales isn't really even the goal of social media, I guess. I mean, for me, it's not even about driving more views to the channel. It's about making sure that we're giving the super fans what they want, I would say, because there are some parents whose kids are really into Bounce Patrol and they want every
my kids totally. Yeah, you gave us the DVD at VidCon a few years ago and they love it. They literally bounce, they jump when they watch it.
Yes, that's what we're going for. That's why the name is Bounce Patrol, right? Bounce along. But for us, it's really about those parents whose kids are very into Bounce Patrol. They're throwing Bounce Patrol birthday parties and, you know, they're that kind of thing. How do we give those parents more of kind of what they're looking for from us? So it's not even as a marketing tool, like I want to drive views to my video. That's kind of not my ultimate aim. My ultimate aim is to serve the community how they want to be served. I just don't know.
I think that Facebook group is just going to kill it for you. I mean, that's what in the last couple of months we're at 15,000 now in our Facebook group, and we were just at 12,000 a couple of weeks ago. And I'm just starting to talk to them. I just think for your super fans, for you to be able to get even just a couple hundred parents into this Facebook group, and for them to be able to share with you their stories, their testimonials, you to be able to give them feedback to when somebody has a Bounce Patrol birthday party, hey, post pictures. And you guys even do, maybe it's just you and a couple people from the crew in front of the camera doing a quick sing along. It's like, oh my goodness, the kids like just went nuts for it. It just allows you to better connect with your groups, because you guys are getting 2 million views a day?
Yeah, about that.
So yes, there's nothing you can do on social media to me that's even going to move that. It's more about right now you figuring out how to better turn this into a sustainable business and find hidden revenue streams. But the only way you're going to be able to do that is to get to know your audience better. So to have, easily turn this into I know the guys in my Facebook group, it's hot right now and I can just interact. You could do a live streaming, on YouTube and just say, or put out a video that, hey kids, this one's for mommy and daddy, really quick, we just want to invite you guys where we can tell you more about the videos that are safe for, are safe for bedtime. There's not much bouncing in them, or this one's great when you've got someone that's not really moody. And we also want to just hear from you and let you know that this is what we stand for. With 4 kids, I love the fact that, I can put them on a channel that has long videos and they're not going to click off and go to something that is going to have Barbies having sex, which is out there on YouTube. And I mean, we see this and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, we were watching a legitimate one, and next thing you know, my kids go down this dark side of YouTube, and we literally have to, we've got to monitor it. But yeah, I just love the idea of you being able to have this Facebook group of super fans that are willing to share with you their thoughts and be able to help you, be able to monetize this better.
There's a lot of people in chat who are saying that too. Go ahead.
I would still encourage you to take a step back. I love the idea of a Facebook group, but it's work. It's not just, hey, I'm going to set up a group where it's going to be amazing. You have to manage that community, and you have to want to deal with parents, and you have to want to not just promote your stuff, but engage in dialogue and suggestions and feedback. And so to this point, you haven't done that. And so is that a genuine interest to you, or is it just a marketing strategy? Because that time spent on making your videos better, I have a 7-year-old, he's right here. I went through those early stages. I remember the YouTube videos as a crutch, the iPad, and I subscribed to a channel because he loved the videos and couldn't wait for the next Thomas the Train whatever to come out. And so I subscribed to it, and he was happy for the next one to come out, right? So you have not done a lot of parent education yet. If it's a marketing strategy, don't do it. If you love it and you feel connected to it, then absolutely. Because you can use that time to build a community, to pour into your videos to make them even better. Because you're getting 2 million views a day, amazing, but it could still be better. Your videos could still be better. You could pour you're taking your creative efforts away from making your videos better to now pour into a Facebook group. If you love the parents and it's absolutely part of what you have to do, then do it. But if not, and it's just a marketing thing, then just run some Facebook ads against something for parents.
Yeah. Well, I'm more passionate about the kids than the parents. So for me, I'm more interested in serving the kids than the parents. But I do think that it might be a useful way to serve the kids better is by serving their parents, if that makes sense. Like, I think it's kind of in a loop. Like, that's the split audience problem, is that I think they kind of go hand in hand. But I don't think I would have the time to manage social media effectively. I think if I decide to go down this path, I'll probably need to hire someone to manage it for me. And I'd like to get your thoughts on, how do you go about hiring someone to manage your voice on social media, if that's an option? Because at the moment, I'm completely at capacity. I wouldn't be able to sort of work this in as well, but that doesn't mean it's not important and worth investing in other ways other than my direct time. So. Yeah.
Let's hit a question, because a lot of the people in the chat are also talking about, like, especially Leland Best. I've seen he said it a few times, as well as a few other people, like the Facebook group idea. But that also raised a couple questions. Frankenstein Designs, is putting my videos on Facebook pages, that is my target audience, a good idea? If you want to start reaching people on Facebook, should you start putting their videos on other Facebook pages that share your target audience? Yes or no? What do you guys think?
Well, make sure that you get permission from the person whose page that is. You don't want to go in there and spam the group. And a lot of us that have larger groups, we do view that as spam. Now, if you contribute to the group and you simply ask permission, that goes a long way. I'll promote people that do that. But if you come in and just try to come in and, you think you're spreading, God's word, and you're trying to promote your business, I immediately recognize what you're doing and I ban you. So, just make sure you get permission. But yeah, that can be an effective way to seed. But we just had a infographic, and this one did above average for us, and we passed it around. It was men's public, basically how to pee in, how to go in and actually use a public restroom. And it got like 100,000 shares. But I can tell you, it didn't actually, Facebook is working hard to keep things on Facebook. So don't think you're going to drive traffic to YouTube. It's more about you get to see and test a concept and see how a video does. And then, put it on YouTube and work to get it shared over there. I just found that things aren't really leaving Facebook too much.
Yeah.
And if anything, I consider trying to get on the radar of the person who created that group. Like if Antonio has this awesome group and he's got 15,000 people and growing like gangbusters, I want to get on Antonio's radar. I don't want to post a link to that group and hope somebody looks at it and I get kicked out. I want Antonio to know who I am, to check out my videos, to love what I'm all about. And if I'm an up-and-coming style men's channel, I want to get on Antonio's radar and do some kind of collab together. And so I think that's the higher leverage play, to get Antonio to try to push my link out to his group.
Evan, you are on my radar. Just FYI.
And I'm not the men's channel style though, but
You've got the whole like shaved head thing going. That's dominance. That's strength.
What about this? I got the shaved face thing going on.
Tim, you don't want me to give you feedback.
I know. I walked into that territory once in person, and then I was like, oh, okay, sorry. But I have improved since then, but that's a whole other story. Pamela D, at what point should we consider starting a Facebook group? My channel is small and new, and my audience isn't big yet. When would a Facebook group make sense?
When you're ready to put in the time. Like Evan said, none of the every one of these comes with a time sink factor. And if you have a new channel and you're building a Facebook group, if you have the time, but just think of how much time you're going to invest into that. Could you be using it to build the channel up first? It really kind of depends on, to me, what type of channel it is. If it was a channel, let's say 4x4 off-roading or something like that, where there could be a community that can be built without the YouTube channel that you could use to kind of build both simultaneously, maybe. But like if you're just doing a video game show or Minecraft videos, I think you need to build that up and have a community kind of forming where you move into a whole other thing. No?
Yeah.
I think it has to, again, be something you enjoy too. Like Antonio did his group for his super fans, and he wants to connect with them, and he wants to test thumbnails and ask some questions. And like, he's in there, maybe not answering everything, but he wants to get feedback from his super fans. And it's no easy way to do that with a YouTube channel. And so unless you're going to put in the time, like to Derek's point, it's got to be something that you actually want to do. If it's just for, hey, this might get me some new subscribers.
Do you think the community tab is going to be that for YouTube? What are your thoughts on the community tab
can
as
of
a way
worms.
to communicate with your super fans?
It's too early to tell.
You need
there's a lot of factors there, but
I don't think so though. From the early stages, it doesn't look like it.
It's gonna be cool.
Well, the other thing about the Facebook though is the notifications that people visit. What did I hear? People check in on Facebook like up to 30 times a day. They don't check in that often in their YouTube subscriptions, and so getting that little red notification up at the top for like, hey, so and so posted in this group has updates or whatever, and then seeing it in their news feed when they're scrolling, like that's pretty significant. Let's get back to your stuff. And you guys are asking a lot of good questions, and Heidi's listed them here. We'll get to as many of them as we can. But Shannon, you were thinking like, all right, if I'm going to do this Facebook thing or whatever it is, basically you're going to have to hire for it. So I guess the way I think about it is before I hire someone, I want to know what the strategy and the goals are myself, because that informs who I hire. Do you feel like you have a good idea of how you want to move forward? Okay, so we should probably talk about that a little bit more. I guess yesterday I was talking with a creator. About 2 years ago, they're getting about 100 million views a month and doing very well. And for about the past 2 years, their views have just been slowly declining. And now they're still doing fine, but they've been working on this problem for a few years now and haven't figured out what the decline is from. And so we tossed around a few ideas, but I guess when I hear stories like that, I know you're not going into this with like a business, model or business, goal necessarily. And everything everyone said is completely true. Like, are you passionate about it? But I also think it's worth thinking like, how does this maybe keep your channel more less volatile? I don't know, like more secure going forward into the future. Like, what if your views dipped in half? Doesn't mean the value you're offering is worth half as much anymore. It just means like you just had everything wrapped up into one basket, and now that basket, we diversify. It's important to diversify. So I guess what I was thinking was maybe it would be worth doing this just from a business perspective, in the sense of like growing out an actual, like not an actual business, but you know what I mean, like a different component of the business that doesn't depend just on ad revenue, and make it.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that. And I think part of that, I mean, the reliance on YouTube as the only place where I can communicate with the majority of my audience right now makes me nervous. So it's the kind of thing where I would like to have multiple points of contact, even if they don't necessarily drive views back to the YouTube channel, just so that I've got multiple points of contact from a diversification kind of perspective, and making sure that if something changes with YouTube, I still have a way of reaching, you know, a large part of our user base. So yeah, I do think that there's value in that. And I also think there's value in growing a community on YouTube other than just the views.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not necessarily about driving people to watch or subscribe your channel. It's also about just building a community around your channel of people who are also passionate about the same things. I think there's intrinsic value in that doesn't necessarily lead to direct monetary outcomes that are also still very valuable. So yeah, I do think it's important to build a community. And contact points particularly. And I guess my question is around just trying to narrow down what's going to be the best strategy to do that. So whether that's Facebook, a Facebook group, whether that's trying to grow Twitter, whether that's building an email list and becoming much more effective at that, which is something we haven't talked about yet either. Kind of picking one of those paths, I guess, or all of them.
I feel like I'm the devil's advocate today. Maybe I'm not going to get invited back to this. I honestly think that diversifying to go after the parents just for diversification's sake is a terrible strategy. You know, diversification can work, but when you know what you're really good at, you know, Andrew Carnegie was the richest man in the world, and he said, put all your eggs in one basket and then watch that basket. You know, video is not going anywhere. YouTube might, but kids will watch videos forever. Right? That is not going anywhere, whether it moves to Snapchat or Facebook.
And they age out of mine as well, which is a problem. Like, you can build a super fan and then they're a super fan for 3 years and then they're done.
Yeah, sure. But there's going to be a new wave. Like, people are still having kids. You know, Tim's going to have 10 more kids. We're going to see them all. People are still having kids. And if your thing is, I know how to make great movies for kids, then that's your basket that you need to watch. And if you're going to diversify, then it's not going to the parents that you don't really have an interest in. It's going to where other places might be that kids are going to be potentially watching videos in the future and really understanding that space.
But might the problem be that the only way that the channel can continue to grow is actually by appealing to the people who are going to share the information? The videos are being made for people who are not talking to other 3-year-olds and being like, you got to check out this video because it's a great video. If you start appealing to the parents on the Facebook group on a platform which is much more around surrounded by their friends and their family, if you start appealing to them, as much as it's being maybe defined as a diversification, it's actually a rather clever play because it's the diversification which in turn would actually get the views. So even though it's not actually a play for views, the best way to grow the views is indeed by, because you can have a generation of however many million kids watching the show, but as you say, Shannon, as soon as they hit 6 or 7, they're moving on. They're not telling their friends, and they're probably not going to tell their little brother or sister about this great channel. So I think appealing to the parents and then having the parents actually start to kind of work their friends. I mean, we have someone who works for us who's a part of a really large mom Facebook group. I don't remember the name of it or whatnot, but that's not important. And they share everything from like what the best lunch containers are to what good television programs are to babysitting to this, that, and the other. So yes, I understand exactly what you're saying, Evan. However, at the same time,
they're already sharing. The parents are already sharing. The moms are already sharing her channel. Those million subscribers she has, it comes from parents also sharing with each other what's going on. The Facebook thing is great if she has an interest in creating content around parents. If not, then with respect to the channel of making 2 million views a day, which is awesome, and I think it's probably the biggest channel in here, there's way more than 2 million kids a day watching videos on YouTube, right? There's still a big market for what she's doing, that if she poured that energy to making better videos and understanding where the video market is going into the future, then she's gonna have a lot more success than trying to do something just for a marketing reason that she's not super interested in.
Well, it could be one kid watching the video 1 million times.
It's a good kid.
Jim's kids watching the video 1 million times.
Not my kids. I wouldn't let them do it. I'd take the iPad. They'd be like, "It's enough screen time for today."
There's also a middle ground too, as well. Like when I was saying, like sharing tips and stuff. Most of the way I do that, I'm not a professional in it, but there's other people that are on the internet, and you can usually find them or have somebody who can kind of come up with a bunch of, I don't want to say common sense, but common sense stuff that every parent should just be able to figure out about how to manage children's time, how to, better, I don't know, get babysitting type. A lot of the things we talked about, they're already out there. The fact of the matter is people are lazy, right? There's people who ask me this, how do I make a screwdriver? Everybody, it's vodka and orange juice, dude. It's not hard, right? But they come to me as a trusted source for the most common sense stuff. And then and some of them, I don't have the answer. I go to this thing called Google. I Google it. I get the answer. And they're like, they think I'm God. Like, you're the best bartender ever. I've never tended a bar in my life, right? But I know how to use Google. And I get a lot of that type of information. And I spit it back to them. And people think I'm a hero. But I'm not a PhD, right? I just did the common sense thing because they're just too lazy to do it. And I think that goes a long way without having to get you so deep in the rat hole that you hate your life for having to do it, or hiring somebody. That way you can hire an intern that can go scour the internet for 20 really cool tips. You can go through them and go, these 5, put them out on my mailing list, or put them out here, go do that, type, and go. And not have to put too much PhD level practice in.
Yeah.
I feel very strongly about the fact that, Shannon, you do need a Facebook page. Whether you like doing it or not, it's part of your business strategy. I don't like accounting, but I have an accountant that does it for me. And it's part of my business strategy. It's something I need. And your concern is, you only have your audience on YouTube. We've worked really hard to get our audience on multiple platforms, and our mailing list has been a really big focus of ours as well. And we're starting to put big resources into building out that mailing list because we realize how important that is to our long-term business strategy. And I think that even if you get a page started today and then you think about hiring somebody and you bring that person on part-time and then you A/B test and you sort of see what works, see what doesn't work, create playlists or create memes or whatever it is that you do and sort of see what pops. It doesn't have to be everything today, but it has to start somewhere. And I strongly believe that it would be very valuable to your business for many reasons that have already been discussed. But I do feel very strongly about that.
Got some good questions here from Official Apps Reviews. If you are starting from 0 followers on social media sites outside of YouTube, how do you grow there and use them to grow your YouTube channel? So if you're starting from 0, how do you use social media to grow your channel?
Interact with other people's content. Interact with whatever platform you're on. So if you're using Twitter, be verbal on Twitter. Respond to people, make responses, hop on popular hashtags and trends. Try to be as creative as you possibly can. But just engaging with it and not expecting, don't always just be an outlet. Just don't it shouldn't just be all output. There should be contributions to a conversation or contributions to a community on whatever platform you're on.
Yeah.
Honestly, before getting started on a platform, I would try to connect with influencers on the platform to see if you can get results from it. So before, if I had a men's style thing, before creating my own Facebook group and putting in the work and sucking at the start and getting no followers, I would try to connect with those 15 influencers. And if I can get some kind of deal and Antonio promotes me and 3 other guys do too, like, you know what, Facebook, this thing has some legs. Maybe I should have my own group and start building it up. Because especially at the start, you'll get way more value out of using other people's networks than trying to build your own from scratch.
Cool.
Yeah, and what I was going to kind of say what Evan was saying earlier when he was talking about Antonio's group is you don't just go to the influencers and say, I want to be your friend and can you make me important, right? You have to, what people don't understand, especially the 0 to 1 people, is how big of a key factor patience really is. And if, for instance, I'm a top contributor with YouTube, they didn't come to me and say, can you do this? I just started doing it, right? And over the last year, I became apparently important in that community because of what I was contributing on my own time, right? And I got noticed. If I went over to the community managers and said, hey, I think I'm pretty important, you should, think about me, they're just going to be, what's this jerk all about? But yeah. You need to get noticed by the influencer that runs it based on the effort and the patience and the time
Yeah.
not just because you feel like you're important, because you're not until you can prove it.
And right now, Derek's sitting at a hotel room in San Bruno, California, hanging out at YouTube headquarters for a few days, invited out, all expenses paid. It's awesome. Good for you, man.
And I got a cape.
Yeah, YouTube cape, nice cape.
Because I'm a hero.
2 questions, and then get back to Shannon's thing. And these 2 are kind of related. Red Blue Talk asks, what are the ways to automate postings like IFTTT, like if this then that, Hootsuite scripting, and then kind of related to that, VACA 24/7. Is there a way to post in one place and it links to multiple social media sites? So basically, this idea of like maybe saving some time and just like mass posting everywhere automatically. You guys recommend that? Yes, no, yay, nay?
No.
Just test. Everybody's shouting. Like you can easily post to Google Plus and Twitter from your own YouTube account when you post a video. Like, are they getting clicks? Does it matter? Like you shouting louder in a sea of people shouting, it's not going to really get some results for you.
Yeah.
No, I think if you've read, I can't remember which book from Gary Vaynerchuk that he wrote, basically about understanding the medium of where you're posting. If you post the same thing on YouTube that you then post on Instagram, that you then post on Snapchat, that you then post on Twitter, you don't have the right audience. You're not handling it correctly. The resolutions for images are going to be different. What people look at from an image perspective on Instagram is going to be more of a beautiful thing, where what they might put on Tumblr, if that's still a thing, tends to be more black and white and sometimes animated GIFs or GIFs. Every medium kind of has their thing. Pinterest has their thing. How you align the images could be different. So if you just go post it out there, people's BS meter is pretty high and pretty easy. So they're just going to look out and go, oh, it's automated. If you have no personal touch to things, the way I do it is 80% of it's personal touch and 20%. The social media outlets that I just don't care about, yeah, I'll yell and try to be louder than the other people. But I try to put some focus and some customizations into the other ones.
Yeah. I try to treat each person on each platform the way they want to be treated. Each platform kind of has like unspoken etiquette rules, that if you don't follow, it kind of like discredits you. And so I feel like it's probably better not to be present on a place than to be present on it and post poorly and just, not reply to anything there, that type of thing. So like when I take the audio from these live streams, I don't just like dump it straight into iTunes like you're getting the exact same thing. I actually turn it into like a produced podcast, and it's different than here. Like a lot of the audio is the same, but I open it differently, have different, like I'm talking exactly to that audience, so it's different. So that's I would recommend not just doing the mass posting thing. So Shannon, where are you at now? Like you got some input, some people saying yes, do the Facebook thing, yes, do the email thing, no, don't do either. What questions do you have that we can help you figure out what you should be doing?
Yeah, well, I think we've sort of answered the social media question. We've raised some more questions as well, but I'll think about that over the next couple of weeks, and I might report back in Hot Seat Session 2 with how I'm going.
Yeah, 6 weeks from now.
I wonder if you guys might be able to help me decipher whether or not it's worth growing our email list and how to go about doing that. At the moment, we technically have an email list, but I've never sent a single email, and I don't know how to develop that funnel at the start of you get a series of 3 or 4 emails, and this is how that works. Do you think that would build into the strategy of serving those superfans and serving that community?
It's the same thing as the Facebook group. You're going to put in the love and effort, then it's worth it. If you're not, just marketing, it's not going to help you.
Email's hard. I mean, it's hard. Like I have mailing lists for my store, and I have mailing lists for my YouTube channel, and I keep up with my store ones each month for one primary reason is that if I post my email, if I post an email to all my customers or 3,000 of the customers, I will get 7 to 10 sales. If I post something to Common Cocktails mailing lists, I might get a couple people to say something, but it's really just to keep the viewers a little bit more loyal and kind of provide a little bit more interaction to their mailbox. But it's easier for me to just skip that for the month because I'm going to try and work on this other video here. And then, I skipped the next month because I'm doing this other thing, because I don't see the instant, the cause and effect. If I hit this and it prints money, I'm probably going to do it. If I can't print money with it, I'm probably going to slack on it.
Yeah.
And I slack on it.
Antonio, I know email is a big thing for you, isn't it? What do you do with it? How does that integrate?
Yeah, and as much as I would like to advocate it, I just can't. I think Evan is really hitting on a good point. And I mean, to me, the bigger thing is, Shannon, I know you've said you got a 6-month production schedule, and you could put, it's really hard to put out videos. I'm like thinking, well, I mean, could you hire someone just to take your existing videos and re-edit them, recut them, put up some of the B-roll, and just put out more content, and then just be able to hit some more home runs, get more videos that get 200 million views, get more that get 20 million views, and maybe go down a path that you didn't even think this would work. Put up very similar videos with very different thumbnails, but make it so that we talked about this consistency, and what I felt last time was that there was a lot of resistance to that. Consistency doesn't work. And my thing is, I've been consistent for 2 years, and now I'm reaping the rewards. And it's like to really test it, you've really got to do it for a while. And I would say, screw the PR, screw the email list, even the Facebook group to an extent, and just get someone that maybe can, recut your content and help you be more consistent in getting content.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's kind of one of the points, I guess, is if I'm splitting my time between making content, if I stop working on making content to work on the social media stuff instead, I'm naturally sacrificing how much content I can put out. So it's about balancing those things. And I guess what you're saying there is just keep focusing on the content and serving the kids. And maybe it's not so important to serve the parents and the superfans community.
Well, I stole it right from Evan. So
if I could just add to Antonio's point, I think it's frustrating as creators when you think you're creating some amazing content and you're not hitting the milestones you want, and you're not getting the goals, and you feel like, man, I'm making awesome stuff. Why aren't people seeing it, right? Why am I growing faster? And about once a quarter, I sit down and I think, okay, you know what? It's marketing. It's just my marketing is not good enough. I gotta tweet more. I gotta join Facebook groups. I gotta do all this stuff in the marketing. And at the end of the day, it always comes back to just making more quality videos. That's it.
Yeah. Well, my goal isn't necessarily to grow the views or subscribers. Like that's not, I'm working that angle over on YouTube. It's more about the goal is multiple points of contact. And so business diversification from it would be a bit safer from that perspective to have them in multiple places. And also to make sure that, I am that community that's already there, serving them as effectively as possible.
I guess it also depends on whether you're trying to build a good YouTube channel or trying to build a business or like a brand, because being diversified, I mean, you can spend as much time as you want growing your YouTube platform and subscribers and getting more views and whatnot, but indeed you're still playing in someone else's sandbox at that point. So when I initially read or when I initially started thinking about the questions that you were going to be asking, it sounded like your play was more to like grow your brand awareness and to grow a company and a business. Yes. And that's why you were reaching out to the parents. That's why you were trying to extend that. And as much as we might have differing opinions about the Facebook aspect, I do agree with the email. For the most part, an email list is pretty 2001. For the most part, like I don't know, you didn't really come to the table with an objective for why you would want to grow your email list. However, it did
same reason as the Facebook, but I'm liking that you're all saying don't bother because less work. Great.
Yeah, no, I've no reason to really defend. Like that's a huge uphill climb, and especially with people's like you're going into their email inboxes, you don't know how legitimate the actual emails are that you're getting for the most part. Then open rates and then trying to get them to do something and all of the rest versus, as everybody seems to be pointing out, utilizing your resources for something else. I wouldn't suggest so much, because I know that a big thing with you is the quality of the content that you put out. You'd much rather sit on a piece on a video and actually release it when you feel like it's ready, as opposed to Evan, who might be producing. Did I hear that right? Actually, is it 3 to 7 pieces of content per day?
Yeah, and they're all awesome.
It's 100% hit. Clearly. But yeah, so I mean, that just might be a difference of kind of like goals and whatnot. But yeah, that's what I would say as far as email list is concerned. But I guess it would come down to, are you trying to grow the channel? And you've kind of said that specifically several times. It's not necessarily more views or more subscribers. It's expanding the brand and talking to my audience in a much different way. I'm talking to a different component of my audience, and I need to start engaging them, and I need to find out what that voice is, because I understand how to speak to a 3-year-old through a song, because I clearly have got that down pat. Now I would really like to start speaking to their parents.
I don't know that that's the right strategy, but is it you really want to start talking to the parents? Like, I don't think that that's the best strategy for you, honestly. Like, if you're in the, I
want to serve the community the best way possible, which is not necessarily. Sorry?
You're in the business of providing amazingly entertaining videos for kids.
Yes.
That market is not going anywhere. Whether that turns into a TV show, whether that turns into a deal with a major brand that wants you to feature their stuff in the show, whatever. That's the business you're in. I love email. Email works great for me. I'm saying don't do it because your passion isn't in there. Email's 2001, 2005. You guys can diss it all you want. I get amazing results from email, but I work it too, right? If you're not going to put the effort in with anything, you're not going to get, just like people say YouTube is a great place to be. Listen, we all know if you're not going to put the effort in, you're not going to get the results. I think you can build an amazing business. I don't think it's about just having a channel versus having a brand. I think the business that you're in is providing great videos for kids. Wherever video consumption is, that's where you need to be. So maybe you should be on Facebook. Maybe you should be on Snapchat. But again, targeting the kids. If there's a business model that makes sense, if not, then stick it on YouTube. I don't agree with the business strategy of diversifying to go after the parents unless it's core to your heart and something that you really love doing.
Right.
I guess what I heard.
If you're looking to change, like if you really want to change how parents' perspective on this, or make a difference in that area, because you've already made a difference for the kids. But if you want to be known, I need to say this without sounding kind of morbid, but who do you want to show up to your funeral, right? Do you want these people to be like, you changed like me and my children's lives through your content because you did this and you saved me there and you helped me think about this? That's different than the business strategy, right? You're putting that aside going, look, I have millions of subscribers and views. I don't care about that crap anymore. I want to make a difference here. Then
it's not I don't care.
Well,
Has anyone ever stopped caring about their subscriber number?
Right, but you've made it over here. So if you want to be able to use what you have to make a difference to parents and their families as a whole, then it's worth all of those groups and emails and everything because you want to make that difference. If you really just are looking at it like from a marketing thing is how do I retain these people if YouTube closes down tomorrow? Then I think Evan's idea is, well, if YouTube closes down tomorrow, it's because somebody beat them, so you should be on the net.
So I invest a lot into YouTube, right? And so there's so far been 1,112 people who have tuned into this live stream. I'm also simultaneously live streaming to my Facebook page, which I don't put nearly as much work into and energy into, and we have maxed out at 82, right? So it's, I'm looking at the live stats right now. So it's, kind of going, wherever you're going to invest time and energy into is where you're going to get the results. Email is significant for my business also. I would love to hear you guys who are in the chat watching this, just comment like if you came here because of the emails that I send out promoting the show. I think that works great for me too, but I'm not saying that email is like a solution or something that everyone needs to have. It like it kind of depends on what your end goal is. So rather than like starting with the tool and figuring out how do I use this for my business, instead you should start with, this is the problem I'm trying to solve. Which tool will help me fix that problem the best, or address that problem. And sometimes email is a great solution. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes Facebook is, so sometimes it's not, right? So I think what we've been talking about here is what is that end goal for you? And I feel like from what I heard you say, and this is my own words, is that I really love serving kids really well. And I wonder if there's a way that I can link arms with parents to serve the kids even better. And I don't know.
You summarized it much better than I can with 10 minutes of waffling.
Okay. So if that's what I heard, like, cause I hear your passion for the kids, and I know like you're just trying to figure out is there a way I can do this better if the parents help me and support me, and I support the parents, whichever way, it goes. But, if that's it, and you're like, hey, I've got the YouTube thing, I'm serving kids the best way I know how, I'm already putting 6 months into a video before it goes live. Is there something bigger, another way that I can serve these kids? What if I linked arms with the parents? What if we were working together side by side somehow to really impact these kids? Could it be even bigger, better than it is now? And if that's the goal, then I would say, well, the only way to link arms with the parents is to do some of these other things, but doesn't mean that's the only way. And how you link arms and what the actionable steps are from that, and what the needs of the parents are that would bring them in anyway. Those are all other questions we'd have to figure out. But yeah, did we help you at all here?
Yes, a lot.
Okay.
And then probably the people I need to ask are the super fans, right? Like ultimately, if the goal is about like trying to serve them, there is a Facebook page that has, I don't know, 1,500 maybe likes on it, something like that. So go to them and say like, what do you want to see as a grown up?
Yeah.
What do you want to see from us in terms of, helping
just
plan
asking,
a bounce control party?
How can we help you guys with your kids? What problems are you facing? And if you say, hey, I have so many kids I'm trying to potty train right now, and none of, let's make a video to help you as parents potty train. And the parents are like, thank you. And then you publish that video. All those parents are like, kid, watch this, or
6 months later, they're like, oh, we're done.
Yeah. Or maybe it's like nightmares, bad dreams or something, and their kids are waking up at 2 a.m. screaming. Is there a video that, hey, parents, let me link arms with you. Here's a video you can show your kids right before. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up, but I feel like that's your goal. And so that's where I'd start and figure out the strategy, and then figure out what tool will best fit in that spot. So.
Okay,
cool. Well, you'll be back in the hot seat in 6 weeks from now. So we'll hear maybe about a little bit then what you decided and how you're going forward. Let's do a lightning round of like a few questions. And by lightning round, I mean like one person, really quick answers, helping out some of these people, right? So Sharon Wise, should I have a different Facebook for my channel and another for my family? I would say if it's different audiences, then yes. If it's not different audiences, then keep all the audience in one place. That's what I was saying. This one, Buddha Cat. Of all of social media websites, which is the most valuable in your opinion, and why?
Depends where your audience is. Like if your audience is 3-year-olds.
Yeah, wherever you invest your time, that's where it becomes the best one. Cool. I got the thumbs up from Evan. Good to go. I'm forward on that one.
You got the point, Tim.
Yeah,
There was a point.
The point. The Smart House guy. But Evan, should it be quantity over quality? I pride myself in making quality content, and it's super time consuming and not reaping the reward. Yes.
It's both.
Should I focus on quantity for now?
It's both. The quantity leads to the quality. To get good at something, you have to do it a lot. Derek didn't just pick up a video and decide, hey, I'm going to learn about drinks and just be an expert. You had to do it a lot. The quantity leads to the quality. You have to do both.
8 years, 5 days a week.
Yeah. Xena Jam, is it good to make pop-up cards during each video that announce stuff like join me on Facebook instead of cramming all that info into the end of the video?
If it's relevant to the conversation, if you're not talking about Facebook, it seems a little odd,
Test
it, try a few times. I mean, I tend to follow what Derek said, so test it, but also if it feels weird, I'm like, the guy's just desperate for people to follow him on Facebook. Bus Vlogger, hey man, good to see you. I'm seeing a lot of talk about natively upload video on Facebook, saying it helps bring people to their channels. What do you think?
Show me the analytics on that.
Yeah.
If it does, do it. If you upload 10 videos. If you see no difference, upload 0 videos.
Yeah, I don't use it as a spot to grow my channel. I view it as a way, how can I serve people on Facebook? Not how do I get people off of Facebook and YouTube, but like, this is where the people are. How do I serve them well here rather than just trying to get them to cross over to YouTube for whatever
When somebody
reason.
pays me, I'll do that.
And last one we'll do here, King Prince. How do you grow a Facebook page in 30 seconds or less?
Antonio.
Patience.
I've got to unmute myself. Well, I love, Evan's part about leveraging someone else's audience is always a great thing. But first, get the page set up, make it inviting. I leverage all of my resources. So my existing Facebook, we're talking about groups, right? Or pages.
He said pages, but yeah.
Page. Yeah. So, well, whatever it may be, I would recommend a group, but for some people, it's going to be pages. Just leverage all your other social media channels and try to get people over there. Many people are already on Facebook, so they're going to be happy that you actually send them over there because they spend more time there. And then it should start to grow on that platform once you've got that core nucleus of people.
Cool. And then Leland Best, what's your monetization model? AdSense. And I just posted a video last week that shows a whole pie chart and everything of my breakdown of my income, where it comes from and all that. So that's called How I Make Money on YouTube, and you can too. Yay. So that's the video from last week. You can find it here on the channel and get that whole breakdown of my income. So thank you guys for hanging out with us. It was a lot of fun, a lot of good stuff to think about and be challenged by, and even just kind of consider as I'm growing my own business. So I hope this was helpful for you guys too, as you're hanging out with us here. I'm looking forward to reading all your comments and catching up with a lot of that stuff. If you don't already know and you joined in halfway through the stream, wanted to have you subscribe to this channel, which is all about helping you guys grow your audience so you can reach people and impact their lives with a message that is really meaningful, that the world really needs to hear. And so we love being a small part of that with you guys. You can also subscribe to the podcast audio versions and other podcast episodes. In fact, Antonio and I just did a podcast. It went live, I think it goes live tomorrow, or it went live last week. I forget, but talking more advanced YouTube type stuff. Antonio and I spent a good 45 minutes digging in deep. So you can find that on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Links to all those are in the description below. Check out vidiq.com/video creators TV, and we will see you guys again next week, same time, for the next episode of Video Entrepreneurs. Thanks for hanging out, guys, and we will talk to you then. Bye.